I have surrounded myself in one percenters in readiness to speak with you today. Today, we're going to look at embracing vulnerability and the power of soft affect. What I would like to lead to is my therapeutic framework, mindful empowerment theory, that I've built upon the theoretical frameworks of cognitive behavioural therapy, acceptance and commitment uh, theory, and choice theory. If you've just joined me, I have my peppermint tea here, and it's going to be a little bit of a longer session today. So I suggest that you go and get a cuppa and come back. I know with a lot of lives, it's about looking in and going and doing something else and looking in. Whatever you want to do, that's fine. I would recommend that you sit down for this one and really inhale it, take it in. This is a session today about how to take back control, not only of your feelings, but your soul. I'm not joking here. I mean your soul. We're going to talk about vulnerability today, and I don't think I'll have time to talk about MET, mindful empowerment theory, uh, created by myself. Oh, gee, I'm sorry you haven't slept. I know we're in a little round table, little fireside uh, talk here, but feel free to reach out and say hello. One of the beauties of these lives is that it has the possibility of intimacy. So let's capitalize on that feeling of intimacy and reach out. Now, somebody may make a comment on the live that demonstrates that they have particular needs. Maybe they're feeling sad or lost or not sleeping or whatever. So let's reach out to each other in the chat. I'm going to really concentrate today, so I may pause at different times because I would like to communicate as clearly as possible. Because I believe this talk, or where we've been evolving to, is critical for happiness and empowerment. And I really believe that we can change the fabric of our soul. I think that as humans, most of us at the moment forego the opportunity to uh, cultivate our soul in order to favor distraction over thriving. And we favor distraction over thriving due to fear. And I'm right up there with you. I definitely struggle with letting go of distraction because if I let go of distraction, I am more likely to be in a space where I'm aware. And if I'm in a space where I'm aware, I may think about death or grief or the possibility of the universe. Paul, it's lovely to have you here. It's really lovely to see you again. Thank you for joining us. Please, I'm still into the peppermint. Please feel free to get a cuppa. This is going to be a slow, deep talk today because I think we need it. Because we just need it. We need to get back to the basics of intuition, miracles, and soul for life. Scotland, I'm stuck in grief due to, I meant rest of the fact due to that. Oh, goodness. Gemma, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. Death is so devastating and so unique, as in, when I say unique, uh, Balanthere, I missed your comment. I'm doing this with my hand because I can get the comment back that way. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry that you're going through this, Gemma, and thank you for being here, Balanthor. Okay, we ready to go? Oh my Gideon, I just love peppermint tea. There's something about peppermint tea that is so intrinsically healing. It's almost as if life can go pear-shaped and you have a peppermint tea in your favorite cup. And Krista, you're in awe. What are you in awe of? Okay, I'm going to grab my computer because I've been thinking about how to broach the topic today and what to say and how to explain this to you. So I'm going to use a couple of narratives. Are you comfortable? Make sure you're wrapped up in a rug or in some way you've got symbols of comfort around you. Oh no, Gemma. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And Lollipop Gamer, so good to see you. The interesting thing, I don't know if I can use the word interesting with death. I'm going to. The interesting thing about witnessing parents dying is the contrast between the sadness of grief and loss. And it also brings to the fore strong memories. And some of those memories may or may not be traumatic. So you've got a relative passing away, leaving this life. You're dealing with the practicalities of that, which can be pretty morbid. And then the experience tends to bring up, blindside you with possible traumatic memory as well. So it's a complex, multicolored experience losing a parent for many of us. And as I said yesterday, it's different for each person as well. My experience of a parent dying is not your experience of a parent dying. And at times when we're sad, we may reach out to another person, and I want to talk about this today. We may reach out to another person for comfort, and they make a decision on what our grief looks like. And it can be more alienating and it can increase the feeling of loneliness. Krista. Thank you so much, Krista. Jennifer, good morning. It's almost not morning, Jennifer. It's 40 minutes to go. I hope, Jennifer, you've got your cup of tea. Okay, so I'm going to talk about two personal stories. The first one, I'm going to name these two characters. Let me see. Sandra and Mary. So Mary has had a set of bad experiences. Mary has experienced death, parental estrangement or estrangement from her children, and is struggling with financial issues. And there is some minor substance abuse. So when I say substance abuse, shopping late at night, has been abusing the substance of the internet, and a bit of alcohol. So Mary is really struggling, and it looks like Mary is going to be in serious trouble financially. One of the not so funny things about grief is that we can be prone to making poorer decisions financially when we're in the grip, in the midst, in the black hole of grief. So this character, Mary, has a complex number of issues, and she's suffering from anxiety. And as we discussed, when we suffer from anxiety, it may be heart palpitation, shortness of breath, etc. So Mary's struggling. She's out there. She's in pain. She's struggling to breathe, and she's crying a lot. So Mary decides to reach out to, what did I call? I've forgotten what I call the other character. Do you remember what I called the other character? Mary and I'm just gonna go with Sarah. I can't remember the characters' names. So Mary is in a black hole type situation, and she texts Sarah and says, "You're welcome." She texts Sarah, her friend Sarah, and says, "I'm really struggling. I think I'm gonna go bankrupt. This has happened, this has happened, this has happened. I've made poor choices. I can't breathe. I'm in so much pain." Now, Sarah, and I want you to concentrate here. Sarah texts back, "Oh, that's so awful." Now, I want to just be silent for a moment. So we've got Mary here. I'm going to broach the topic of vulnerability and growth and how we can change our souls. And I'm using this as an example. So we have got Mary with complex problems that almost have a domino effect. And Mary has talked to Sarah, and Sarah by text has said, "Oh, that's awful." So Mary has said, "Oh, that's awful." Now, I'm going to give you a couple of moments. What would Sarah have done differently? There's something Sarah's done that I don't agree with. She said, "Oh, that's awful." Now, she believes she's showing empathy to her friend. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you so much. Why was it possibly a poor choice for Sarah to choose the words, "Oh, that's awful," in an attempt to empathize to Mary's complex grief? Okay. What Sarah has done is make a judgment. She has made a judgment. Yeah, Larry. Oh, of course, Larry. It would be Larry, wouldn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, let me see what Larry's written. Because she's validating the catastrophic emotional state. Now, I like that, Larry. Oh, Nancy, I'm so sorry. Yes, let's keep positive in this situation. Okay, Larry's written because she's validating the catastrophic emotional state. All right, so feelings are complex. We can feel a number of feelings about a particular issue. I talked yesterday about the importance of naming the issue. However, I like to keep the feelings fluid so that we can grow and adjust ourselves. So there's so many different experiences that Mary may be having. She may be feeling bits of grief. She may be feeling possibly a little bit of relief that there's going to be a change in her life. She may be feeling exhausted. She may be feeling a little bit giddy and hypervigilant. She may be feeling frustrated, lonely, so many things she could be feeling. By Sarah saying, "Oh, that's awful." Yes, the rise of um, catastrophe. This is catastrophic. So instead of listening, creating a sacred space and saying to Mary something like, "How was that for you? How are you? Is there anything I can do?" Creating that sacred space of pause so that Sarah can be a support, not a judge. To say it's awful, now, of course, if somebody's struggling financially, it's not beer and Skittles. It's not great, but it may not be awful. So, what Sarah is doing is making the judgment that it would be awful for Sarah. What's Mary going through? What is Mary's experience of this? How does Mary feel? What factors ring more strongly for Mary than other factors? Give the person the pregnant pause, the sacred space, in order that they can dip their toe in the waters of their own experience and feel, what do they want to feel? not judgment, support, an ear without judgment, rather than a catastrophic boot. Oh, I like that. An ear without judgment rather than a catastrophic boot. Again, I talked yesterday about softness, softness in affect. Okay, so when we discuss emotional responses, we explore affect and whether we use intense language, any intense language when affect is uh, being focused upon. Any intense language is judgmental, is primal, and is bestial, is tribal. Soft affect allows people to heal, to question, to explore, to consider. So it's not only the way Sarah supports Mary, it's about how Mary supports Mary. So it is almost never okay to use strong, affective words. Terrible, awful, disgusting, repulsive. It's about not just when we review our own experiences, but when we offer our heart to somebody else. Allow the space to grow. Allow the space to reflect. Allow the space for multicolors. When somebody dies, when we lose somebody, there is 100 ways of looking at that experience. In order to heal, we need to be open to every single color of the rainbow of grief or the rainbow of loss. In order to mature, in order to be able to be our best self, in order to be able to grow, in order to be able to adjust and nurture our soul, soft affect gives us the foundation, the springboard to change, rather than locking ourselves into the intensity, the sticky feelings of, that's awful. Is it really awful? Is it really awful? Because often there is so many different affects. Now, vulnerability. When we look at the definition of vulnerability, it is taking risk. I'd like to add the word reasonable. So, vulnerability is taking risk in life, taking emotional risk. Brené Brown, just adore her. When we look at constructive vulnerability, the risk we take needs to be reasonable. If we are going to be vulnerable in our growth, in our emotional growth, in our spiritual growth, in our soulful growth, if we're going to be truly vulnerable, we need to have the courage to do things differently, to be different. If we want to be different, we need to be wary of intense feeling. Because intense feeling is like, you go to the doctor and he checks your reflexes and he bangs you with that little hammer just below the knee and your leg just comes out like bang. That is the stickiness or like the intensity of knee-jerk feelings. That's terrible. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's disgusting. Take a break, take a moment. What is the issue? The issue is we name the issue. Remember the Rumpelstiltskin? We name the issue. We name the worry to disempower it. Then we look at the color of our feelings and we tease it out, we explore it, we disentangle it, we hold it up to the light to look at how we can feel differently, so we can see things differently. If we go with the knee jerk reaction, with the reflex reaction of the silver hammer on our knee, we will just be moving forward from the point of view of childhood experience. So when we're a child, we lock in patterns of behavior expectations. So it's like we get all these microchips in our head and we plug in a different one for different experiences. Oh, that's the one. I'll never be good at relationships. Oh, that's the one. I'll never tidy up. Oh, that's the one. I'm a procrastinator. To take out those microchips of childhood trauma, to take out those microchips of predictable patterns of behavior that we've internalized from childhood. We need to take a break, create that sacred space, and in that sacred space, nurture softness. Because if we nurture intensity, intensity is always knee jerk, bang, that reflex action. If we want a different color, a different response, a different result, we've got to nurture into the room of our mind a different paradigm. And that nurturing, our true self, is always found in the silence, in the wings, in the quiet, in the shadows. So, in order to do things differently, encourage and practice soft affect. That doesn't mean lobotomy. That doesn't mean, it doesn't mean nothing. It means softly, softly look at the situation. The last thing that Mary needs right now is somebody telling her it's awful. How on earth is that constructive? Mary needs to cultivate the space to work out her own answers, to work out how to be, to cultivate resilience. How is she going to achieve that if Sarah just says, "That's awful"? Okay, thank you very much. That was a big help. Rather than, "Mary, how are you? I want to support you here, Mary. So I'll just be fairly quiet. Let me know how I can support you, what I can say. Would you like me to bring you a meal? Do you want me to bring you a warm jacket? Would you like me to make your bed? Or would you like me just to listen? How can I be of service and support to you?" Rather than, "That's awful." See, the second approach has less judgment, less knee jerk reaction. Now, we can use this story not only for Mary, but we can imagine that Mary is ourselves. Yes, Gemma. Yeah. Gemma's just highlighted the difference between responsive and reactive. And this is really important. It's really profoundly human to react. We've learnt as children, young children, if something bothers us, we bite, we react, we have that knee jerk reaction. That is our animal side. We have the opportunity in life to grow as souls, to cultivate as beautiful souls. But in order to do that, we've got to eject the 5,500 computer chip programs we have learned from childhood. We need to have a softness to allow the new kid on the block to come into our mind and to help us grow. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll just get back to my computer. So I've kept some notes. And of course, you'll be able to go back to this. Now, if anyone wants the transcript of this video, let me know and I can email it to you. If you put your email address in the thingy bob underneath, I can email you the uh, transcript from this. Okay, so we've had the personal story of Mary and we've viewed the best approach response to Mary. And we've also looked at the possibility that Mary could be ourselves and we need to be kind to ourselves and soft with ourselves. And softness doesn't not mean lobotomy. It doesn't mean all weak and fluffy. It means gentle, kind, sacred space, consideration, mindfulness, mindfulness, cultivating awareness. Okay, intense language can often reflect a judgment rather than a true understanding of somebody's feelings. Now, the only way we're going to move towards an understanding of somebody's feelings, including our own, is mindfulness, sitting, pausing, reflecting. being reasonable, rational. Whether those feelings belong to others or even our own, the Sarah situation can be a metaphor, and Mary is talking about Mary. Are we Mary? What do we do to soften our approach? So I've written here, illustrate how Sarah's response can shut down communication instead of fostering connection. So what Sarah's done is shut down the communication with an intense one-worder. Awful. We can do that with ourselves too. We can say, gee, what happened this morning was just frightful, frightful. My life's frightful. This is all frightful. It's awful. It's hopeless. And you are dictating to yourself how to be, and you're polarizing your own response. Give yourself the space to let the situation breathe. Allow the situation to breathe. And you could say words such as, this is a difficult situation. I feel, I feel pretty awful about it. However, there's a number of feelings in play here. This isn't the end of the world. Nobody's going to die. It's only money. I'll still have a roof over my head. My children have chosen their own journey at the moment. I'm using all these different issues here all in one. And this could be good for them. I want to have space in which to grow. I can now work on my soul. I feel levels of frustration. I feel levels of relief. What does a relief look like? If I looked at this situation and attempted to find humor in it, where would the humor be? If I was to give the characters in my story funny names from an American sitcom, what would the names be? Who would the characters be? What I'm trying to challenge here is the microchip. The microchip where we go back to childhood and validate a childhood memory with the present. And thereby, we encourage the ability to grow through vulnerability. Do you understand how this is vulnerability? The ability to take a risk with the way we assess, rather than always say, men are always unfaithful to me. I'm always hopeless. I'll never be any good. I'll never get a rise. I'll never get a career change. I'm always going to be broke. These microchipped responses that are just knee jerk, pre programmed. How can we let the new kid on the block in the room, the softness, the color, for our souls to grow and for us to be who we are destined to be without our programming, without our socialization? Now, this is really hard. This is discipline. This is hard work. So it requires concentration, that you can look at your internal rhetoric and you can really unpack the way your brain has been patterned. And I mean patterned to think. Don't forget, put your email if you want me to send you this transcript. Okay, so looking at how communication with yourself, your internal rhetoric, can shut down your own sense of connection with yourself, your own ability to ground yourself. You can shut down yourself. Yeah, Gemma. Yes. Gemma's saying step back as a third person. Excuse me, lifting my face like this. I'm wearing bifocals. So to read the screen, less, Gemma's just said less of I can't and more of how can I? Uh, I really like that. Exploring, teasing out the word how and the phrase how can I? It's almost, not into the word lazy. I'm going to use it. It's almost lazy to go back into our internal rhetoric. I know it's not really lazy, but to send it up a little bit. We are such computer programs, relentlessly playing back memories we've internalized that we don't have to. we can change the way we see our lives. And by changing the way we see our lives, we change the way we can address our present and carve out our future. And this is tough, it's hard to do. Okay, self reflection exercises. Encourage yourself to reflect on your own emotional responses. So I'll repeat this. Excuse me dumbing this down. I just want to really make sure you get it. So we talked yesterday about diffusion and fusion, and diffusion, dividing, not being one with the thought. So you've got the trigger or the issue, or the in counseling call it the problem. So you recognize the problem, you name it. What are you saying, Larry? Emitting terms like always. Okay, Larry said here, emitting terms like always, never, must, should. Oh, you've taken it away. It was good, Larry. The absolutes. So when we succumb to absolutes, never, always, must, we can have 10 doors in front of us leading to different opportunities. And we close our eyes and we go for the door we've always gone for. I went out to dinner with a girlfriend of mine that I really like, and she was really, really lonely. She's an attractive girl, not that that matters. And we went out to dinner, and it was a singles bar or a singles type bar, just beautiful, full of trees. This is a while ago. And she kept talking about how lonely she was. And I looked around, as I do, because I do. I watch people. And there were several men watching her, trying to catch her eye. She was looking at me and she was telling me the story she kept telling me. She said, I have to accept I'm always going to be alone. I'm never going to meet a man. And there's all these men trying to catch her eye, like, hello, hello, falling down. And she refused to turn left or the right. She refused to take out that predetermined microchip she learned as a child. So if you want to look at the law of attraction, and you know I've got very mixed views on the law of attraction, but she was creating her own fear by not opening herself up to the vulnerability of taking a chance. Now, of course, the vulnerability of taking a chance, she could have said hello to one of those men, and they may not have been great characters. There's always that possibility, but it is an option from being the puppet who continues to play the same story day in and day out. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Emotion is multicolored. If you use a word such as awful towards a friend or yourself, you've stuck yourself in a little box without windows. Okay, self reflection exercises. Encourage yourself to reflect on your own emotional responses and try to find other emotional responses to an issue, even if it's almost like role playing. Try and find a thread of humor just for a moment. Try and find a thread of other emotions: frustration, annoyance, anger, grief, humor, joy. Uh, Go through them. Imagine that you're being auditioned, you're auditioning for a play that you really want to do. Play, play with the issue so that you have the potential to see it differently rather than playing the same narrative again and again. Don't forget, if you want the transcript, email in the description, please. Self reflection is different. So, self reflection is the ability to look back on memory. It's not looking back on memory in order to hold yourself back. It's reviewing memory in order to grow. It's reviewing memory so that your soul can thrive, you can grow, and you can open up to wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to see things differently, with reason, with rationale, opening up to all possibility. Now, we cannot realize our own limitless possibility if we don't open ourselves up to possibility. Okay, creating a space for soft affect. So, looking at how you encourage soft affect, open affect, a variety of different affect, using gentle language and open ended questions. It's a hopeless situation. Well, it's a difficult situation. Look at opening it up. When you ask questions, rather than um, a yes or no question of yourself, ask yourselves open questions, open it up. Open ended questions. Wow. Um, where, when, what? Open it up. Allow the situation, the room to breathe. Our brains are programmed to, thanks, Larry, to absolute. So it takes practice. Yes. Oh, so fast, Larry. Brains are, Larry was just saying, programmed to uh, simplify. Now we're doing this. The reasons our brains are programmed this way is our bodies think it keeps us safer. If we learn a way to be safe in our past, or we think we've learned a way to be safe, we're going to keep repeating it again and again. And humans, our primal need is to stay alive. Now, this can go awry, or this can go off the rails, or this can go wrong because anxiety, why are we anxious? Because the body's learned anxiety in order to keep itself alive. Why do we panic? The body thinks it's panicking due to perceived fear. It thinks it's keeping itself alive. We can question it. We can look down upon our panic and our anxiety and say, is this rational? I know I feel this. It feels uncomfortable. I don't like it. Is it rational and how does it serve me? And look at that. How? How? All right. Encourage your friends and yourself to share thought and experience without judgment, without intensity, without fear of harsh judgment, fostering a sense of belonging. So, helping a friend feel a sense of belonging. How are you? How is this experience for you? What would you like me to do for you right now? I'm here to listen, not judge, not, oh, he's an asshole, leave him. It's awful. That's terrible. Oh my goodness. How are you going to cope with that? Those strong statements. Now, it's not just about being a good friend to somebody else, it's about being a good friend to you because you have limitless possibility. And in life, thank you, Angel and Beth, in life, there are levels of miracles. And if we can learn to change, that's on par with a miracle because it goes against our childhood programming. Through this process, exploring boundaries, uh, exploring and recognizing personal boundaries and looking at the interplay. I mean, what was that? Oh, thanks, Jenny. I love this cardigan. Looking at the interplay between boundaries and changing yourself, being vulnerable. If we do not assert our boundaries, we're walking on a bridge where we're just going to walk off the side. If we want to be honorable to ourselves, live in dignity and grace, and foster the ability to be our best self, to realize our unlimited potential, we have to be able to say no. We have to be able to say no. I'll say it again. We have to be able to say no. Not a harsh no, not a intense no, but a no, no. I would even role play that. Imagine A friend asking you to do something, you don't want to do it? No, no, thank you. No. And saying it to yourself, oh, come on, I'll just gamble a little bit longer. I'll just have one more drink. No, 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 I won't have one more drink. No, I won't gamble. I won't gamble anymore. No. For us to have the safe space in which to truly grow, that safe space needs a fence, a moat, a force field. And that fence, that moat, that force field, they're your boundaries. They're your boundaries. Hold on to them. Hold on to them. We can be vulnerable with ourselves and take reasonable risk within within the safe space of our boundaries and our values. And what this really does is it allows us to embrace authenticity. It allows us to open up the floodgates for us to become our true selves. We may have not had opportunities, or we may have had a parent or a caregiver that did not see our capabilities, did not see our potential. By being vulnerable and opening ourselves up to soft affect and opening ourselves up to a variety of different responses without intensity. Oh, thanks, Gemma. Without intensity, we can have unlimited potential. Unlimited potential. There was a science experiment, you may remember it, where it may have been fleas or insects or something, thanks, Gemma, put in a jar. And they're left in the jar, let's say for 24 hours. And then the lid was taken off the jar, and the insects never left the jar, never. And what it shows is the constrainment or the or the parameters of our upbringing remain. It is difficult to see that we are greater than our upbringing has told us, but we are greater than what our upbringing has said to us. Einstein had just said, "How do I get the people around me to understand?" Einstein, you don't. They won't understand. They don't understand. What you need to do is understand and accept that they will never understand. When you grow as a person, it is absolutely not negotiable that you understand other people won't understand. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? One of my clients was talking to me yesterday about how he was growing, and he'd go back and see his parents, and his parents hadn't grown. This is one of the travesties of life. Just because you grow doesn't mean other people are going to grow. It's not logical. That's painful. It is not logical. We cannot, cannot change the behavior of another. They will only see us through the lens of their own experience, how they've internalized their past. That's their journey. That's that. Uh, Let go of the need to get them to understand. Einstein, work on yourself. That is painful. It is difficult. It can continue to be painful. We can only change ourselves. And to change ourselves, we need to soften affect, color our emotions, move away from absolutes, create that sacred space to listen to ourselves and to listen to others. Just, oh, I've gone way over time there. Ah, feeling for you there, Gemma. Now, mindfulness practices, including simple mindfulness techniques, can help us look at the color in our emotion and look at the potential um, in ourselves. I like to talk about this in terms of a thriving soul, that we can reach deeply into our subconscious, our soul, and change our soul if we open ourselves up to seeing things differently. And if we open ourselves up to seeing things differently, we have to see them differently. We've got to resist, go through the discipline of resisting the spewing rhetoric, the instant rhetoric. And this comes from the starting block here is diffusion, cognitive diffusion, dividing, separating, disentangling emotion. By focusing on the contrast between strong and soft affect, we can foster a more compassionate approach to ourselves and others. Compassion is a real keystone here. And we'll talk about compassion in another topic because there's been so much today. Um, Now, I'm going to probably tomorrow go through my theory, mindful empowerment theory, MET. It's a framework I've created with the support of so much research being done before me, cognitive behavioral therapy. But it's MET is about creating miracles within yourself, really embracing change, opening yourself up to logical thought, potential, and opportunity. I'm going to go in a moment. Remember, if you want this transcript, put your email down below. Any last questions before I go? Yeah, I'm going to talk more about this, but I've just, Gemma, learned how to do transcripts, and I'm so excited with it because that's so helpful. I put the video into Otter, Otter AI, and it's thank you, Mary, thank you, and it spits out a transcript. What is so important about this is you may have someone that's destined to be a great tennis player or destined to create a invention or destined to be a parent. If we are slaves to our internal rhetoric, we are slaves to our internal rhetoric. Remember my friend, my beautiful friend that we went to the amazing bar and there was several men looking at her, but all she could do is look deeply and intensely in my eyes and say, I'm learning to accept I will always be alone. She was hypnotized. I mean, that's the definition of hypnosis. She didn't take the risk. She wasn't vulnerable to what could be because of the fear of failure. So, to resist the fear of failure, let's just accept failure. Thank you so much. Um, I'll be closing off my discount to August counselling soon because of the number of applicants. So, you still have an opportunity there if you want to. Go in and book on Simply Book Me or my website, Lauren Ostrowski Fenton. Let's walk through life mindfully. Let's live mindfully. Let's be mindfully aware. And let's accept that learning to be mindfully aware is a relearning, a new learning in each new moment. We never reach the finishing line. And that is the, thank you, Jenny. That is the, an 8-hour video. But I don't know how I'd load an 8-hour video in Australia. Um, that is the beauty and travesty of life. Love you.